What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fire Testimonies, where we overcome the evil one with the blood of the Lamb and also with our testimonies. My name is Roger Blassingame, and today, guys, we have the first Guile on the show. My very good friend Tiffiany. I'm so freaking excited for you to be here, guys. She has a powerful testimony, and I cannot wait for her to share it. We're gonna start off with an icebreaker, and my icebreaker is, Tiffiany, if you could go anywhere in the world right now and stay there for free for an entire month, where would it be and why?
Oh, that's a tough question, actually. I've always wanted to go abroad.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I would love to visit like Italy or maybe go to Paris.
Paris.
I love the art and the architecture. So
Guys,
yeah.
She is an artist. She phenomenal. Like, book her. She will draw you anything and it'll be fire. God has given her that gift. Okay, so Tiffiany. All right. Now that the icebreaker's over, I find what are you gonna say? No, so Tiffiany, take us back to BC Tiffiany, before Christ Tiffiany. Like, what did your life look like? What were things that you were engaging in that the world had to offer before you met hope in Jesus, had hope in Jesus?
Yeah, truthfully, it doesn't look as, like, from the surface, it doesn't look as black and white as a lot of people's stories. Because I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And truthfully, the main part of my testimony isn't necessarily my salvation, but the moment that I fell in love with Jesus and I surrendered fully. Like, I loved him before, but yeah, that transition point was a little different. So I grew up very Protestant, very holiness movement, like very like, yeah, a little bit legalistic in my view of God. Like, my personal view was very based on how I perform. And I played the part and I looked really good.
Yeah.
And I had all of the dreams of, like, your sheltered homeschool Christian girl. Like, I was very sheltered, very homeschool, very, you know, and my dream was to get married young and have kids, and my identity was being in a wife and a mom and a good Christian. And I idolized that view, and I idolized men especially. And yeah, there was a lot of brokenness in my family as well. And so we definitely held to an image, and we all worked hard to maintain that image.
Yeah.
But there was a lot under the surface. A lot of pain, a lot of, just the enemy has his way a lot of the time, unfortunately.
Yes, he does.
But not in the end. But yeah, so I was just very lost. I was searching for identity, and, like, I was definitely sheltered from a lot of the things that you typically think of. But I was lost so far into idolizing my identity in men.
Yeah. Was that that something that you picked up from someone else, like your idolization of men, or did that just come along in your life?
Yeah, I think it kind of came from, I had a very codependent, unhealthy relationship with a older man in my life at the time, when I was like 9 to 15.
Yeah.
And it was very abusive. And so I actually moved out of my parents' house at 17 because of that. And we were all still trying to keep up the family image of everything being good.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of fallout from that for me personally. And I kind of ran from one relationship into another, and started dating a guy when I was 15, a guy that I met through my homeschool co-op. So we were both kind of like sheltered little kids.
Wait, so was it like there's a homeschool co-op?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just you being stuck in your home. There was like more people that was involved in the homeschool?
Yeah, it was like a once a week thing. We would go, and like I had friends who did more, but yeah, it was like school, but one day a week for homeschoolers kind of thing.
Hey, all the homeschoolers are going to be able to relate to you. Come on.
Yeah. So we met through that, started dating, and yeah, I had a lot of these mindsets of like wanting to do things right. And I'd always wanted to get married young. And so that became my idol. I started talking about marriage with him. About 2 months into our relationship. We were talking like we're getting married, like little 15-year-olds. We're like, we're getting married. And yeah, he was everything to me. And, truthfully, like I did in that season when I first moved out, I did find the Lord in a lot of ways, and like I was seeking him. But I loved my boyfriend more, and that was very apparent. And like, I even knew it, and I would talk to God about it and be like, I don't know how to do this, but you know, this is where I'm at. And, I held on to that, and, I had a terrible anxiety and depression that I battled really, really badly from the past trauma in my childhood. And just a lot, but like I almost medicated with that relationship. Like I used it to cope with everything.
Wow, wait, hold on. Wait. That was deep. Wait.
Yeah.
So you're essentially saying that your relationship with your boyfriend at the time, that was your medicine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, like, truthfully, looking back, I like didn't realize how unhealthy I actually was. Because if I had a panic attack, I would just call him and I'd be okay. But it was a cycle. And like the depression was held at bay. Like it had been bad when I was a kid, but as soon as we started dating, like I was all happy and, you know, and there were hard moments. Like I thought I was going to be living in my car for a minute before I moved out because like stuff got so bad. But, you know, even then I look back and I see like the Lord was taking care of me, even though I was going to another person, the Lord was still like allowing me to go to that person, but he was still there, which is really, really sweet. Just the heart of God. But yeah, that's kind of the before.
That's actually crazy because like, kind of like what you were just saying, that even though God allowed you to run to the things that he knows wasn't good for you, he still gave you that freedom to do that. But even within that freedom of allowing you to run to these things or run to these different people, he was still there. He was still there, and he never abandoned you. He never turned his face from you. He never took his spirit away from your life. Like he was like, no, I'll be there and I'll be waiting, which he waited. And so what was like, was there like a moment like that you had where you were just like, I need to give it all to Jesus? Like what led up to you finally making that full decision to follow after Jesus with everything?
So I think very often it gets worse before it gets better. And so I got to a place where I thought I was really healthy. I was doing good. This relationship was going really well. We dated for 3 years. I moved to Lansing for him. I built my entire life around him. I was getting confirmed into the Catholic Church because his family was Catholic and he really wanted me to be Catholic. And so, and I honestly saw it as like honoring him and as submitting to him. yeah, because I also definitely like really had this mindset of like, yeah, I'm supposed to submit and like just listen to everything he says. And so it was a pretty controlling relationship, honestly. But yeah, we got engaged. He asked me to marry him. And we planned our wedding. And yeah, I planned out my whole life, my entire life.
Yeah.
I moved in with his sister, and the plan was I was going to live there while we planned the wedding, and then she would move out and he would move in. And so we were going to trade. So we had like our first apartment I was already living in. We were setting it up for a married couple. We booked the church. We did an engagement photo shoot. We got the invitations.
Wow.
We booked the honeymoon. I had my wedding dress. Everything was set. And 3 months out from the wedding day, we were supposed to get married June 10th. And on March 6th, he ended things in a 1-sentence text. He just walked out, and I never saw him again. The last time I saw him, things were good between us. Like, he kissed me and told me he couldn't wait to marry me. Right. And yeah, then he got distant. I didn't know what was happening until like we kind of fought, because I was like, you're not telling me what's going on.
Right.
And then he literally just sent, understand this, we're done, we're over. And that was it. And
how did like that make you feel? Like, because you, like you said, you just planned your entire life with him. Like, you had the apartment ready, the dress ready, the venue, the honeymoon, like everything. Like, and then in one sentence, it was all gone. Yeah. Like, how did that make you feel in that moment?
Truthfully, I don't think I really felt anything. I just went cold and numb. And the best way I can describe it is it's like a car crash or a death, where like, truthfully, it was like he died, because I never saw him again. Like, one moment he was there, one moment he loved me, and then the next moment everything I knew was a lie. Yeah. And it wasn't just that, like, his family had become my family. His dad called me his daughter. Oh. Like, I was really close to his dad. And like, yeah, that was my family. Like, I would hang out with them whether or not he was around. And like, I lived with his sister. And truthfully, I didn't have, like, I can't even remember a lot of that first day, because everything kind of was just black. Yeah. And yeah, I kind of just went into shock, and my family came and some friends came and moved me out of that apartment that night. Like, I lost my home. I had to leave my job because I was working at a bridal shop. Wow. I was not about to walk in and work on wedding dresses. Right. Yeah, so I lost the people that I was spending time with. I lost my church. I lost my home.
And this was the Catholic church that you were going to? Okay.
Yeah, so lost all of it all at once. Wow. And yeah, I literally moved back into my parents' basement because I had nowhere else to go. Yeah. And yeah, it was just this cold, like, everything is over kind of moment. Yeah. And literally the first audible thought I can remember thinking was, God, don't let me lose you, because I won't have a reason to live. Wow. And that's what the next several months looked like. But the Lord saved my life. Like, yeah. Wow. The next morning, I finally was like somewhat thinking like it had set in, the panic was setting in, that like the numb had gone away, and I was just like falling apart. And I cried out to God, and I was like, you have to speak to me. You have to prove to me that you're real, that you care even a little bit about what's happening right now. Dang. And I had always thought it was dumb where people would just like flip open their Bible and expect God to speak, you know? But it was so desperate in that moment, I wasn't even thinking.
Yeah.
I just flipped open my Bible. I'd never read this passage before. Or maybe I had, but I'd never thought about it before. I didn't know it was there. I flipped open, and my Bible opened to Isaiah 54. And the first thing I read was Isaiah 54, verse 5, which says, "For your Maker is your husband. The Lord of hosts is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. For the Lord has called you like a wife forsaken, like the wife of a man's youth when she is cast off, says your God."
That is like so freaking profound. Yeah. Like, that was so intentional by God.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what you were feeling in that moment when you flipped open and saw that. Like, what, God? What? This is literally me. This is me and you, God.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah.
Dang.
Truthfully, I say that was my wedding day with Jesus. Like, I wear a cross on my ring finger because when I took that engagement ring off, like, I felt it. And I was like, God, I need something. And yeah, he has taught me that he is worth everything that you're afraid to lose. And he is everything. And it's not easy. It wasn't an easy road at all. Yeah. Like, I think people very often hear that part of my story and want it to be like a, whoa, yay, God, and then move on. And it's like, no, like, I really battled depression and like suicide and self-harm for months after that. But the Lord just so gently took me by the hand and walked me through every single step. And now I get to say I am healed more than I was before that hurt.
Yeah.
Like, God took me back to this stuff when I was a kid and healed me of everything. Yeah, far beyond anything I deserve.
Wow, that's like, because not only were you going through everything because of your ex, and you're having to walk through healing for that, but God's like, hey, I actually want to dive deeper into your life. I want to go even further back and take that pain that you experienced and those burdens that you first started to carry in your past. I want to bring it to the surface and heal all of it. Yeah. That's like insane, because it's just like, on one hand, like, okay, God, like, you're already bringing it to the surface a lot right now, but now you're wanting to bring more to the surface. But like, he did that because he loves you. He cares about you. And he's like, hey, these burdens was not meant for you to carry. Yeah. Cast them on me. Lay them down at the altar. I can carry them. I carried them on the cross and I can carry them now, which is like, wow. Yeah. Wow. No, I mean, it's such a lie. I think even in the church, the enemy has gotten away with this lie that having the perfect Christian life looks like being married and having kids and like this is the ideal. And so many young girls especially, I think, put their identities in being a wife and they idolize that. Yeah. And the Lord has shown me, like, no relationship is forever. I'm forever. And like, ooh, some people think it's a little good. So good. Some people think it's a little morbid, but like, I've had people ask me, like, how do you get past that? Like, how are you the way that you are? And I'm like, because I know I'm gonna die one day. And like, that sounds bad, but it's like, no, it's because I know this earth is not my home. Yes, and nothing that I can lose here is worth having. Because everything that I seek and everything that I desire is found in eternity. Wow. Because people say, oh, like, you'll feel better like when you get married one day and like it'll all make sense, like what God's plan was. And it's like, God could redeem it and give me a husband, and he could die in a car crash tomorrow. Yeah. And like, I don't know that the pain that I've experienced is going to be it. I'm pretty sure there's more. Yeah. Whole lot. Like, Paul, anyone? Literally shipwrecked. Yeah. Stoned.
Yeah. So I'm like, Lord, I want to be willing that this does not go to waste. and that my heart and my eyes are set on heaven.
Yeah.
And are on him. Because I gained so much more in him than anything I've lost.
Was there ever a moment where you were almost scared to give yourself away to God in this way? Because like, one hand, you had already given yourself away to a man, and now another man, God, is asking you to give yourself away to him. Were you ever scared for doing that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I had a moment where I kind of yelled at God a little bit.
Hey, that's okay. You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, no, I had a moment that I was wrestling with literally like every picture I'd ever been given of Christ's suffering had been the physical pain. And something I mentioned, I dealt a lot with self-harm because truthfully it grounded me and it pulled me from the emotional pain to something real that was grounding and tangible.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shoving that in God's face and going like, I would rather be tortured than go through this. Like, this is worse.
Wow.
You don't get it. Like, do you understand? Like, why? Like, I get that you have plans and you're sovereign and all of this, but like, why would you let me go through this? And again, the Lord just spoke to me a lot through his word, through Isaiah especially. I was reading in Isaiah.
Come on, again.
Literally, because when I got that word, I was like, okay, we're studying the book of Isaiah. So I was reading in Isaiah, kind of having this fight with the Lord. And I was reading the passage that says, he was a man of great suffering, acquainted with grief, despised by those he loved, but despised by man.
Yeah.
And it hit me, like this whole passage is describing that he's a man acquainted with grief, and it didn't once mention physical pain. It didn't mention the cross. It was talking about how he was despised by humans.
Yeah.
And it hit me, I'm angry because I gave myself, like promised myself to a man, soul, body, like everything. I was going to be this man's forever. And he literally walked away like I felt like I never mattered, you know, because like he couldn't even look me in the face. Like he just walked away like nothing. And God was like, hey, I hung on a cross. I gave myself soul, body, heart, my everything to human beings that I knew would just walk away.
Wow.
And I actually, it's bad, but I actually was like, that was dumb of you. Why did you do that? Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. I would never have chosen to love that man if I had known he would walk away. And this is one of the few times I like audibly in my head, like heard the voice of God.
Yeah.
And he said, it was worth it to me because I got you.
Hey.
And I broke down, of course. But then he kind of turned it on me and said, Tiffany, are you willing to let this be worth it to you for me?
Wow.
And that was kind of a turning point where I was like, okay, I can't be afraid. I have to just give him everything.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing left outside of him. Like literally nothing left. I watched it all fall to pieces. So.
Wait, that's crazy, because no matter who has abandoned you, with everything falling apart, God was the one that remained.
Yeah.
He was the one that stayed by your side through it all. Even when you were choosing other things, other people above him, he still was the one in the end to be the one person at your side.
Yeah.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah.
Unconditional.
Yeah. No, I didn't know what love was. I don't think you do unless you've experienced him.
Yeah, agreed.
Because, it's so, our human view of of what commitment and love and all of those things are, that they're so fragile.
Yeah.
But he's the one who stood beside all of it, and like, I didn't deserve that.
I know I didn't deserve it. He stayed by me. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
man, I didn't know I was doing all this. Wow.
Yeah.
And so like, where are you now in life? Like, what is the Lord doing in your life now?
Well, first and foremost, I claim full and complete healing in the Lord.
Yes, come on.
Oh, God is so good. Like, it was a rough season, but truthfully, like, I got through that so much faster than, like, should have been possible. Like, I thought I'd be falling apart for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. You know, I had people tell me, like, this is gonna suck for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. Almost this coming March, it would be 2 years ago. And my life is completely different. And it did not get better because, like, I didn't get better because my life got better.
Yeah.
Like, God changed me, and then he built my life up. So I spent pretty much an entire summer just alone with the Lord, healing and just working through things. But then he told me, all right, it's time to pour out.
Yes.
So I moved to Lansing, which also I said I would never come back here after that, because I'd moved away when that happened, and I was like, I'm never going back. And he was like, yes, you are. And the Lord provided me with a job teaching art, just out of nowhere, which was such a blessing, because I never thought I'd get to do that as a career. And it is my biggest passion. I love art, besides the Lord, of course. So I get to do that. And then I am on staff with a local ministry, called the House of Prayer. It's, the Lord has blessed me so much with that community.
Yeah.
Getting to go out and evangelize and share my story with so many people. But then also just being in a place that is so focused on coming before the throne of Christ, and interceding for brokenness and interceding for the campus and for people. And it's so focused on him. So I get to do that. I'm discipling some girls.
Come on, discipleship.
Just really pouring out. And like, I genuinely, from the time I was like 12 years old, never thought I would be content being single. Never thought I'd be okay like that. I never saw myself that way. And I don't know how he's done it, but
we never do.
Yeah.
We never do.
No, I'm so blessed. I'm so beyond blessed.
Wow. And so, like, wrapping things up, what would be something that, for those who are watching and listening to your story here today, what's an encouragement that you can leave them with? Yeah.
If there is anything at all that you are afraid of losing, it's probably an idol. And I guarantee you he's better. And that nothing you sacrifice for him will not be redeemed. Even if you don't understand why, even if you don't, and also don't make the mistake that I made. Like, give it to him before it's taken away, because you want to be in obedience to him. You don't want to be picking up the pieces from closing your ears to something that God's telling you to walk away from. So he is worth it. He's better than any relationship. And that's not just some cheap slogan of like, he's better, like, to make you feel good about being single. Like, he actually is.
Wow. Guys, I told you. What did I tell you? Tiffiany is amazing, guys. I'm going to, thank you so much, Tiffiany, for coming on here and sharing your testimony. Guys, I'm going to put her social media handles in the description below, and definitely go give her a follow, especially her art page. fire. You guys are in for a treat. Thank you all so much for coming on here, listening to my friend Tiffany's testimony, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.